Hello, welcome to Africa This Month on Ominira TV. Hi, I'm Lanre Peter. In this episode of Africa This Month, I want us to look at the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on Africa's economy. As of May 13, every African country had recorded a case of COVID-19 infection, with South Africa and Egypt being the two countries with the highest number of cases. If we look at the number, going by the number of cases in the continent, we may say that Africa is not as affected like other regions. However, COVID-19 has a negative impact on Africa's economic growth, largely because of the continent's dependence on foreign economies, and also because of how the pandemic is affecting key sectors of the continent's economy. For instance, the travel and tourism sector, which is one of the primary engines of growth of the African economy, could lose up to $50 billion and up to 2 million jobs because of the travel restrictions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. One other reason why this is hitting the continent hard is because the continent's major trading partners, which are the European Union, China, and the United States, are seriously affected too. So let's look at 3 ways the COVID-19 is affecting Africa's economic growth. 1, there have been less trade, which means that there are fewer imports and exports taking place in the continent. And this is affecting many countries in the continent because they derive most of their resources from exporting raw materials. In fact, exports and imports of African countries has been projected to drop by at least 35% from the level reached in 2019. As a result, this loss is estimated at $270 billion. 2, there's been a decline in revenue generation. For most African nations, national income has drastically dropped. This is due to the slow economic activities and a fall in global commodity prices. It's even worse for oil-producing nations like Nigeria, Angola, and the like. For instance, Nigeria made its budget forecast on an assumption that oil price would be at $67 per barrel, but unfortunately, oil price has dropped over 50%. What this means is there will be a budget deficit, which is the case across the continent. And when there is a budget deficit, it makes it difficult for countries to implement infrastructural and development programs. 3, there's been an increase in unemployment. Millions of people across the continent have lost their jobs in different sectors of the economy, and this can be connected to the government's response to the outbreak of the pandemic. If the government had responded differently, perhaps we would have a different approach. But all of this means that the livelihood of millions of Africans is being affected by this pandemic, which is further drawing people into poverty that already exists in the continent. However, I hope that African governments and decision makers would be more careful in approaching issues like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching Ominira TV, and please subscribe to our channel and share this with your friends.